In today's video, let's visit an unexplainable, shocking place, and a well that turns everything into stone. But first, here's a lake that you will never ever see, even if you wanted to. Number 10. Lake Vostok. Lake Vostok is one massive body of water, measuring roughly 149 miles long and 31 miles wide. It's located in Antarctica, but despite its size, you won't be able to find it in any map. Why? Because this lake is under the Antarctic ice. In perennial darkness and extremely cold, it's one of the most inhospitable environments found on Earth. But life somehow found its way to thrive there. Initially, it was thought that only bacteria could live there. However, recent discoveries have found that more complex multicellular organisms also call this dark and frigid place home. These extremophiles live in an environment so harsh it's actually believed that these organisms, given the chance, will be able to survive in Jupiter. With that being said, these creatures might be the only living things today that will survive a global apocalypse, if that ever comes to pass. Number 9. The Catatumbo River. The Catatumbo River itself is nothing out of the ordinary, but what's happening there is truly unexplainable. The area around the Catatumbo River in Venezuela has been in the middle of a lightning storm for decades, and it seems that there is no end in sight. Scientists are also unable to explain the phenomenon. The lightning starts at around 7 o'clock in the evening and then rages all the way until sunrise. Many scientists have gone there to verify the claims of locals and all have confirmed them, but no one is any closer to finding an explanation as to why it happens. Once, people hypothesized that it was due to uranium in the atmosphere, but that was quickly dismissed as a fringe theory. The thing is, no other explanation has come up at all, no matter how many times scientists visit and stare, and so the whole area remains a mystery. Number 8. The Town of Twins. In this town, you'll literally be seeing double. On the surface, there's nothing remarkable about Kodini, a modest settlement in Kerala, India. It's home to around 2,000 families, but the remarkable thing is that there are at least 400 pairs of twins in those families. India has one of the world's lowest rates for pairs of twins born. The average is no higher than 9 per 1,000 births, but then again, the people from Kodini seem to have never gotten that memo. Twin births is a natural phenomenon, so there should be an explanation why this small town in India has so many of them. But scientists still have no concrete explanation for this phenomenon, and it's not because they weren't trying. For years, scientists have tried to explain this oddity, but they all come up with the same conclusion: it's unexplainable. Some say the explanation lies within the diet of the people of Kodini, but that avenue also led to a dead end. It doesn't appear that there's anything in the water or the food though, as there's nothing out of the ordinary in their diet compared to other communities in the area. To add to the weirdness, there are reports that women who have married men from Kodini and moved there also give birth to twins, so what gives? Number 7. The Fire Eagle Nest. The Fire Eagle Nest, more commonly known as Potomsky Crater, is an anomaly located in the middle of the woods somewhere in Siberia. It is something so unique, outstanding, and mysterious that it still puzzles scientists to this day. The first mystery is that no one actually knows how it was created. One theory states that it was created by prisoners at a top-secret Stalin labor camp, although the reason for them doing so is not stated. Some theories also say that it may be the result of a meteorite crashing to the Earth, or by volcanic activity in the area, or even by an underground hydrogen explosion. But subsequent studies veer away from any of these explanations. And of course, another theory states that the aliens did it. Even weirder, the trees closest to it have experienced extremely accelerated growth, just like those near infamous nuclear meltdown sites. Anyone who gets too close experiences extreme nausea and headaches. One explorer, Eugene Vorobiev, dropped dead of a heart attack just a few kilometers from the crater, despite being in perfect health. Many scientists have come to study the area, but none of them can conclusively prove how the crater formed or why weird things seem to happen near and around it, and it looks like it's going to remain that way for years to come. Number 6. The Boiling River. According to legends, there exists a lost city of gold somewhere deep in the Amazon jungle. The description of the city itself is hard to believe, but the story further states that running right beside it was a boiling river. While the existence of a city of gold can't be easily proven or disproven, at least one aspect of the story has been confirmed to be factual: the boiling river. And yes, this boiling river was found in the Peruvian Amazon, giving more credence to the City of Gold story. But the boiling river itself was deemed an impossibility until it was discovered. The waters in this river reach temperatures of up to 196 degrees Fahrenheit or 91.9 degrees Celsius. The water boils everything that touches it, whether that's unsuspecting frogs or fish that realize too late that the water is heating up. People are clueless as to what else could be causing the water to boil, as it behaves unlike any river anywhere else in the world. Some say it runs over a fault line in the earth, while others say that the gods have created it, as they like to watch animals fall in and cook from the inside out as they try to escape. Number 5. The Sleeping City. Are you one of those people who find it hard to fall asleep? I'm one of those, and I've tried everything from counting sheep to glasses of warm milk, but none of them seem to work. Only if I knew that the solution to my problem would be solved by a trip to a certain city in Kazakhstan. Back in 2013, people living in Kalachi just started nodding off, and not only in their beds. People would succumb to sleepiness while at work, in school, buying groceries, or walking in the park. The thing is, it wasn't just an isolated case only affecting a few individuals. The entire city was being affected, and the symptoms lasted for an entire year. Then, as suddenly as the symptoms appeared, it vanished, leaving doctors and scientists puzzled. Since then, some have suggested that the uranium mine under the city was to blame, as the carbon monoxide it gave off lessened the oxygen in the air and made people drowsy. That could be true, but then why would the effects just suddenly stop? And why did no one notice it was happening? Number 4. The Ringing Rocks of Pennsylvania. There is a place in Pennsylvania where the rocks can sing, and scientists are clueless on why they can do it. The Ringing Rocks Park is a 7-acre wooded area which is known for the massive rocks that piled up there. These boulders are special, however, as they make clear bell-like tones when struck, hence their name, the Ringing Rocks. Only about a third of the rocks ring, and for a long time why the rocks rang at all was unclear. However, in 1965, a group of scientists crushed, broke, and sliced the rocks. After performing numerous tests, they found that while all the rocks do in fact ring, they often do so at tones lower than the human ear can perceive. Furthermore, the exact mechanism by which they ring still remains elusive. They have, however, been used in a very unique concert in 1890. JJ Ott used these ringing rocks exclusively during the performance, so you might say it was the very first rock concert. And with that, it's now time for today's best pick. Here we see something very odd, a beach slowly eroding into the sea. Now, this is a natural phenomenon that happens in a span of thousands, perhaps even millions of years. But why is this beach eroding at such a rapid pace? Let's find out next. Number 3. Port Hueneme. Port Hueneme is a small beach city in Ventura County, California. The beach is basically divided into 2 parts, which have become the hallmarks of the place. On one side, there's a busy fishing pier, on the other, a world-class surfing destination. But the place is also famous for another thing, something that might actually wipe this small city from the face of the earth. You see, the sand of this beach is rapidly eroding into the sea, and to prevent the city from disappearing into the sea, the US Navy has to dump dredged sand onto the beach every couple of years. In fact, the beach needs around 400,000 cubic yards of sand to prevent the city's total destruction. Construction of the city's deep water port and its jetties in 1939 sharply altered the downcoast flow of sand along the city's beaches, resulting in erosion and damage to public and private property, as well as the port, which is shared by the US Navy and Oxnard Harbor District. In 1954, sand traps were built to try and prevent this erosion, and it somewhat worked. The sand from the beaches still erode, but are caught in the traps. The thing is, it's very difficult and costly to dredge that sand from the traps and dump them onto the beach again. As of this video, no permanent solution has been proposed to fix the beaches and the city's erosion problem. Number 2. The Zone of Silence. There's a place in the Chihuahuan Desert in northern Mexico where radio signals don't work and compasses spin out of control when placed near stones on the ground. It's called the Zone of Silence. It measures only 50 kilometers across, and it is located in the Mapimi Biosphere Reserve, a huge, mostly uninhabited expanse of almost 400,000 hectares, where the flat and desolate terrain is interspersed with lonely mountain outcrops. The disruption is believed to be caused by subterranean deposits of magnetite, as well as debris from meteorites. The zone's overall effects are disputed, but there's no doubt that the area, which sits on the borders of the Mexican states of Chihuahua, Durango, and Coahuila, has an abundance of celestial activity, including, some say, visits from UFOs and extraterrestrials. Number 1. The Petrifying Well. Anyone with a passing knowledge of Greek mythology should have at least a passive knowledge of the Gorgons, 3 women-like monsters with snakes for hair. One particular Gorgon, Medusa, was feared because of her insane power. Anyone who stares into her eyes turns into stone. Of course, we all know that these are just stories, but did you know that there is a place somewhere in England that does exactly the same thing? That's right, deep in North Yorkshire there's a cave called the Petrifying Well, where water runs down the sides and into the ground. People go there to leave everything from keys to teddy bears by the water, because when they return weeks later, they know they will find those same items turned to stone. The petrifying process isn't really that uncommon. This process is responsible for the formation of stalactites and stalagmites in caves. What's quite amazing with the Petrifying Well is the speed of which it does the process. Stalactites and stalagmites usually take a few hundred years to form, but any item placed in the well turns to stone in just a matter of weeks.